Good morning, grade 7. How are you today? Again, this is Teacher Mitch, your English teacher. And this morning, we're going to have our new lesson, and it is analogy. What is analogy? People often wonder about the effectiveness of analogies. What do they teach? How do they work? Why are they so useful? What makes analogies so effective is their ability to let us think critically. So let us start by working with analogies. So let's have some examples. So try to complete the following analogies. First, we have knife is to cut as ruler is to blank. Measure, water. The answer is measure. Next, apple is the fruit as broccoli is to blank. Green, vegetable. The answer is vegetable. All right. Next, up is to down as on is to blank. Out or off? The answer is off. Next, car is to road as boat is to blank. Water, ship. The answer is water. Next, let's move on. Analogies. So what is analogies? It is all about the relationship. All right. So what is an analogy? An analogy is a term that means word relationships. Analogies are like a word puzzle. We all know that when you say a puzzle is like a missing piece that we needs to be completed. So puzzle is a game, problem, or a toy that tests the person's knowledge. So same with analogy. Again, analogy is like a puzzle that you have to complete the missing piece. Next we have analogies always contain two pairs of words. An analogy shows the relationship or a common quality between two sets of words. Like for example, bark is the dog as mew is the cat. Alright, so next. To answer an analogy question, you must first select the answer containing the words related to one another in most nearly the same way. And of course, you must be able to recognize the relationship between the words in the given pair. All right. Analogies can be abbreviated and it will look like this. Dog, cat, man, woman. So, dog is to cat as man is to woman. So, you have to ask yourself, in what ways could these pairs of words be related? To the relationship will always have to do with the meaning of the words. So, cat and dog, man and woman. Now, what do you think is the relationship between these pairs of words? They are opposite, right? Now, let's have the types of analogies. But before that, let us all watch this.
Learning Upgrade.
You're asking me, what is an analogy? It's a relationship between two words. Red is to stop, as is. Green is to what? At a red light, you stop. At a green light, you go. Tall is to short, as is. Big is to what? The opposite of tall is short. The opposite of big is small. 3 is to 6, as is. 4 is to what? 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. Now you see, what is an analogy? It's a relationship between two words.
Do you like the song? Have you learned something from it? It tells us about analogies or the relationship between words. Now, let's have the types of analogies. So, first we have the function. Next, the characteristics, the part to whole, the definition, the type or kind, lack, other, and degree. So we're going to discuss each, and I will give you a lot of examples for you to understand these types of analogies. First, we have the function. Of course, it is how something works. Let's have some examples. Knife is to cut, pen is to write. Pipe is to water, and vein is to blood. So the function of knife is to cut, and the function of pen is to write. Same with pipe. The function of pipe is to conduct water, and the function of vein is to conduct blood. All right. Next we have, now let's have the characteristics. So it describes something. Like for example, puppies, furry, fish, slippery. So when you describe a puppies, they are furry, and fish are slippery. Next we have slave, submissive, murderer is violent. So a slave is someone who is forced to do work, and when we say submissive, it means following orders. Thus, a characteristic of a slave is to be submissive. And a murderer is someone who kills other, and thus, a characteristic of murderer is violent. All right. Now let's go to definition. So, it is something that explains the subject matter. Let's have some example. A verdict is to judgment. An infant is to a baby. Next, we have an attorney, or attorney is to lawyer, dog, canine. Okay. So, a verdict is by definition, it is a judgment. An infant, by definition, it is a baby. So, another example, attorney is to lawyer, dog is to canine. It means that an attorney, by definition, it is a lawyer, and a dog is a canine. All right. Let's go to our part 2 whole. Pairs that show that the first word as the part of the second word, that is part 2 whole. Let's have some example. Monitor is the computer and finger is the hand. Next we have branch is the tree and the wheel is the car. Part to whole relationship analogies are very simple to understand. Look at the example for number 1, that is monitor is the computer. It means that a monitor is a part of a computer. Same with finger. So finger is a part of a hand. Branch is a part of a tree and the wheel is a part of car. Okay. Next we have the type or kind. It is a category of people or things having a common characteristics. Let's have some examples. First, we have the hammer is the tool and bee is the insect. So, a hammer is a type of tool, while a bee is a type of an insect. Next, square, quadrilateral, and rifle is weapon. So, square it is a type of quadrilateral having 4 sides, and a rifle is a type of weapon. All right. Next, so lack, it is the state of being without or not having enough of something. In short, or in Tagalog, kulang. Okay, let's have some example. First, weak power. So, weak or something weak lacks power. Dry water. Something dry is lacks of water. Clumsy, grace, or clumsy is the grace, doubtful is the fate. So, clumsy means awkward or klutzy. So, grace is the quality of being effortlessly coordinated or skilled. So, if you are clumsy, you are lack of grace, right? And a doubtful, that is lack of faith or belief. Doubtful. You are full of doubt. All right. Next, we have the other. So it shows the relationship and connection of something to another. Example, a cake is something ye baked. Next, we have birds live in a nest. A cake is a dessert that is made to be baked. And the nest, it shows where the birds lived. All right, let's go to next classification. Lastly, we have the degree. What is a degree? It is how much of something. Let's have some example. Chuckle, laugh, whimper, cry. All right, next we have cruel, unkind, and vicious is aggressive. So a chuckle is a little laugh, just as a whimper, it is a little cry or a little cry. Cruel means mercilessly evil or violent. Thus, someone who is cruel is very unkind. And vicious means ruthless or fierce. Thus, someone who is vicious is very aggressive. All right. Next. All right. So we're done with the 8 types of analogies. Now let's have a short review. The types of analogies. First, we have the function. What is function? It tells something or how something works. Like for example, we have knife is to cut, and ruler is to measure. Next, we have characteristic. So, it describes something. Example, puppies are furry, fish are slippery. Next, we have part to whole. So, a pairs that shows the first word is a part of a second word. Like, for example, monitor is a part of computer. A leaf is a part of trees. A finger is a part of hand. All right, next definition. So definition is it describe or it define or explain something or a subject matter. Like for example, an infant. By definition, infant is a baby. A dog is a canine. Next, we have the type or kind. It is a category of a people or thing having common characteristic. Like for example, a hammer is a tool. A bee is a kind of an insect. Next is lack. So the state of being without or not having enough of something. Like for example, weak lacks power. Ugly lacks beauty. Dry lacks of water. Next, we have the other. So, other is shows the relationship and connection of something to another. Like, for example, a bake or a cake is something that you bake. A bird lives in a nest. And last, we have the degree. So, degree, it is how much of something. So, like for example, chuckle is to laugh, and whimper is to cry. Okay. And for your activity, please answer your book, page 283, number 2 only, that is A to J. And give one example for each type of analogy. And that is all for today, grade 7. Goodbye, everyone. Have a nice day.